Good evening. Welcome to the Select Board meeting of January 10th. I'll call the meeting to order at 6:01. I hope everybody got through the storm safely and didn't have much damage in your areas. Unfortunately, I hear we have another one coming maybe this weekend, so it is winter time. This meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV and live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at townofbernardston.org. You can also watch channel 1075 on your Comcast dial in Bernardston. First order of business will be our warrants. I entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $59,638.21.
So moved. Second.
Is there any questions on it? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $649,896.35.
So moved. Second.
Note here is the PVR SD assessment, Pioneer Valley Regional School District assessment was $609,191.80. Is there any questions or deletions or? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we got a bunch of minutes to approve. Entertain a motion for the regular meeting minutes of December 13th, 2023.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of December 14th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of December 20th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of December 27th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of January 4th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, calendar announcements.
Just vote that last
Oh,
one.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Monday, January 15th, 2024, Town Hall offices will be closed in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a federal holiday in the United States, making the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. It is observed on the third Monday of January each year. Dr. King was the chief spokesperson for the nonviolent activism in the civil rights movement, which protested racial discrimination in federal and state laws. The Board of Registers will meet on Thursday, January 11th at 1 p.m. at the Town Hall. The Bernardston Fire and Water District will meet on Thursday, January 11th at 6 p.m. Fire and Water District Office, 295 South Street in Bernardston. Council on Aging will meet on Tuesday, January 16th at 9:30, Senior Center. Conservation Commission will meet on Tuesday, January 16th at 6 p.m. Town Hall. The Green Committee will meet on Tuesday, January 16th at 6 p.m. Town Hall, Select Board's office. Comcast Business has a scheduled outage for tomorrow, January 11th at 38 Church Street, 20 Church Street and 18 Church Street. They will be working to enhance the Comcast Business Network. Work will commence at 6 a.m. and anticipated completion of work within the day. During this time, there may be interruptions to Comcast Business Services. And I hope I said January to all those meetings and not June.
You said January.
Okay, appointments. The town clerk and the assistant town clerk, which we have here in front of us tonight, have brought to our attention that the town clerk and the assistant town clerk would like to rescind their letters of resignation. New job descriptions have been finalized by the Select Board and viewed by the Town Council for both positions. And it is our understanding that you have both received copies, correct, of the new job descriptions. If we accept your request to rescind the letters of resignation, there needs to be a clear understanding that you will be held to the standards, requirements, and responsibilities outlined in the new job description. Gentlemen, your pleasure.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the rescinding of the resignation of the town clerk and assistant town clerk.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Do that.
I am pleased and honored to be able to accept this letter of rescinding the resignation. I think you're both very, very capable workers in the town hall. You do a wonderful job. We don't always get along, but your heart is where it needs to be, and you both show that you care about Bernardston. So we all appreciate all that. And
For sure.
welcome back aboard. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Do we need to appoint them into the new positions or no?
Do
We
what?
don't need to appoint them, right?
We have to ask the town clerk.
No.
Why do you give me such hard questions?
I just wanted to make, it's
We
okay.
never reached the dates, actually.
So technically not. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
We could always
Okay,
do that.
we have also, the select board has recently, at one of the special meetings that we just approved, voted to appoint Karen Kelly as our new town administrator. Karen has worked, she worked with Lou before Lou left and has done a wonderful job of filling in for Lou. And we feel that rather than go to the outside, this was a no-brainer to us that we already had the person in place and she's digging in. So the select board voted to appoint Karen Kelly. But I would like to do a formal motion on the floor now in front of the TV, so it's all set in stone.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Karen Kelly, the incumbent town coordinator, as the town administrator effective January 10th, 2024, with no change to current base salary.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? Go ahead.
She will need to come see me and be sworn in now as a different position.
I'll come see you.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Can I make a couple of announcements as the town clerk?
yes, you can.
I just want to let the residents know that the town census form should be in the mail by the end of this week. And with that town census form is the dog license application for the year 2024. So people can start getting their dogs licensed as soon as they get the application. And also please send in the town census because it can affect your voting rights if you don't send it in. Anyways, the other is the vote by mail applications that the state sends out for the elections are going to also be in the mail, we were told, starting this week. So people can start expecting those to be in the mail as well. Going back to the town census, we had to find a new vendor this year. So the forms look different because we actually printed them off of our state computer this year and took them to a vendor to have them mail them out for us. So they do look different, but it saves us a lot of money compared to what we got for a quote from a new vendor that was referred by our old vendor. So, yeah. And that's it, just the presidential primary is gonna be March 5th. So,
Early and often.
Do we set a caucus date yet?
oh yes, caucus date, March 18th.
Thank you.
Originally, I had said, it was gonna be the day of the presidential primary. And then I said it was gonna be the day before, and I got thinking about it, so that would just be crazy for my office to do that. So, March 18th, that gives us time to clean up from the presidential primary and move on.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The next order of business is our keys for the front door. We have in the past, we have put new locks on, and I know Lou at one time had a list of who had the keys, but I don't know if as people left or whatnot, if they brought the keys back. So it might be time to rekey the doors again and start this process again, and hopefully we'll be able to keep a good documentation on who has them and where they're going. A new rim cylinder and 35 keys cut and stamped plus labor will cost $385, or we can have 10 keys made for $70. And then I'll leave that up to you guys if you want to just have the 10 keys with the lock we have now, right?
Yes.
That'd be 70. Or do you want to have it rekeyed and that's 35 keys
Yes.
for 385?
And that, I bet that's not enough keys either, but I'm
They'll
not.
be numbered,
We,
so you can identify my key from your key?
I'll have to find out about that.
Okay.
But I can ask him that. That's probably gonna, if he has
They
to do
normally
something.
are.
Yeah, normally, okay.
The technology that the PVRS is using with the card, and BES, I understand, is going that direction too, plastic card. Have we looked into that and ballpark how much that costs instead of the 385?
No, I haven't looked into that.
Okay. I don't know whether it makes sense. Is
But
that-
I can do that.
Okay.
We can look into that as well. But I definitely need keys like now for, I mean, I have 0 keys and so there's a couple, board committee members that need a key to the building. So it is, yeah.
I would suggest that we go with the new solution as opposed to the, just adding more keys to the pile and
I would agree with that. Then we gain control of it again.
Yeah, and
We know who has them once again.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Make it official motion.
do you want to also, before we order those, do you want to ask about that,
The cards?
the card?
do you have any remembrance as to how much it was gonna cost?
I think at the school at BES, it was gonna be in the $17,000 range.
Okay.
We like the keys.
To do 5 doors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the keys are
Yeah,
are
which is a
really
grand
nice.
You don't want to take away from the charm of the door either, like
Yeah.
having some swiper thing
There you go.
versus,
And then if we lose electricity, how does it work?
yeah.
Okay, let's just go with it.
Yeah.
Let's just go with
385 is a
it.
good deal.
Yeah.
Nobody I know who's ever gone up to that door says it has charm.
I think it's charming.
Okay.
Okay.
You're the
Okay.
first
So you
on the
need a
list.
motion then.
I would move to replace the rim cylinder and an additional 35 do not duplicate keys cut and stamped, and I would encourage you to have them stamped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I will. Yep.
That way. Plus labor for a total of 385.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the next order of business is appointments of poll workers. I'll read them all and then we can appoint them all at once. The motion is for poll workers and election wardens for 2024. That will be effective January 10th, 2024. Names are Judith Beckworth, Katrina Domcaller, Patricia Ann Grover, Norman LaCoy, Susan LaCoy, Donald LaCoy, Lois LaGoyce, if I said that right.
Louise Ledoux.
Louise
You were
LaGoux.
close.
I guess I didn't even come close.
I'm glad you're here.
Anne Marie Mullen, Carly Nadowich, Donna Newton, Janet Page, Beth Walters, and Sharon Wiesman Orr and Alex Taylor.
Next page, more on the next page.
Ethan Bolinsky, Ma Byrne, I guess it is not,
What is it?
Maeve.
Maeve Byrne, B.Y.
Yes, Maeve Byrne.
Okay. Paul Abbey, Robert Lively, and Janet Page.
She got
She's
appointed
on there
twice?
Yeah.
Huh?
There's a 2 of them.
So, when I have the presidential and state elections, we need 3 shifts because it's from 7 in the morning to 8 at night. So I need 3 wardens, but I have her as a poll worker, so if I need her for like the town election, I can use her for the town election as just a poll worker.
Okay. Just a poll. They work
Well,
hard.
I shouldn't say it that way, as a poll worker, because they're very important.
They are.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you to all those folks.
Yes.
Transfer station, small size bag for trash. A number of people are asking about the possibility of getting a smaller size bag for trash. The bag is half the size of the normal bag. Normal bag price is $2.50. Half bag price would be $1.50 and sold only at the transfer stations. Are you here to talk about that, Danielle? Or?
No, I was here to talk for something else. I didn't realize I missed my opportunity.
No, you haven't.
Okay.
You have not missed your opportunity. What's your
I
feelings?
did
on-
talk to Brian on this. He said he's had several residents approach him about a smaller bag. particularly for the summer months, the senior crowd in town. As warm weather comes, the garbage gets a little smelly and everybody's trying to be frugal with their bags, so they try to stuff the bigger bags for multiple weeks to get the bang for their buck, and it gets pretty nasty smelling. He said he would like to purchase a half a pallet of them, only sell them at the transfer station so that the store doesn't have to try to deal with a different denomination of bags and the cost. They would only be able to be purchased at the transfer station, and he'll see how it goes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Danielle,
Yes,
what can we do for you?
I misunderstood. I was here to ask about the coordinator position, and we already passed through that.
The what?
The town coordinator position,
Oh, okay.
and I guess I missed my opportunity to speak or ask on that before it was voted on.
You want to apply for it?
I was wondering why it's a different title than what Lou had.
Okay. We might have another position coming open that might be an assistant too.
That's not, I'm wondering,
Why the
Lou's
change in
title
name?
was a different title.
Why it went from town coordinator to town administrator?
Oh, because we're giving her some supervisory responsibilities.
Okay.
She'll be overseeing like the town clerk's office, people in here. And everybody actually, even when Lou was here, everybody was really going to Lou first and then coming to the select board.
Okay.
And we found out to be working really well to have that happen.
Okay.
And it really doesn't change a whole lot. We're still the ones that oversee everything. And if somebody's not getting the satisfaction by going through the town administrator, they can come directly to the select board.
Okay.
Like we have an open door policy, so and then we can take care of whatever issues.
So how does that affect other department heads, like the fire chief and the highway department head and the police chief?
It doesn't affect the fire chief, he's a strong chief.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the police chief, he's a strong chief. And Brian, she wouldn't really be overseeing, Brian would be coming, they work closely now.
Correct, but
The
that
only
would
dir-
not be our direct supervision.
The only direct supervisor she would be is the
Yeah.
clerk and the assistant town clerk.
Okay.
Everybody else would still report to the select board. It's just gonna formalize it a little bit better, so for
Okay.
HR type things, everybody would go to that town coordinator's position anyway.
Correct.
It just makes it more formal when they become an administrator. She's not a strong administrator, like Northfield would be.
Correct. So if she wanted to become a strong administrator, that would have to go through a town vote? They can't change our politics in-house here?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I think it would.
It has to be
Change
it would be in a
the-
bylaw. You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
codify the position
Yeah.
to make it a strong
Strong.
admin.
And that's not our intent.
And then it's definitely not the intent.
Okay. And how long have you been in the full-time position?
Since the full-time position of which positions?
Of
I've been in
Lou's
3
position,
positions.
When you stopped acting and you were full-time hired without it being posted, how long have you been in that position?
Have to double check the minutes for the date.
Yeah,
Rough
I'd have to,
estimate. Less than 12 months?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we're already administering extra responsibilities and delegations to someone who hasn't even gotten their feet wet for 12 months?
Mhm.
And we think that's a smart idea?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, okay, well,
You don't give someone who doesn't know what they're doing yet more responsibility.
well,
That's
we-
foolish. And I don't know how you get involved in these special meetings where I'm not allowed to.
They're all posted
they're all
publicly.
posted.
You just approved them today, so I thought I couldn't read them.
No, that
This
was
the
just
second
the
time we
minutes.
approved it so people could see it on a camera. The first meeting we had wasn't televised. It was a special meeting.
Correct. So how do I get to see it when it's not televised?
You'd have to come to the meeting. It's a
Okay.
public meeting.
That's what I needed to know. Okay. And that's always on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sure there'll be people that will have concerns about it,
Oh,
but
we do, yes.
we've been working with Karen and found it to be a very workable, and she's really has a lot of knowledge already. She's gaining knowledge, and we've had several people that have been in that seat that have not had it. Started off with no knowledge and just gained it, and
Okay.
sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't.
And where was the position posted originally? Because I was interested in
It
applying
wasn't
for
posted
Why?
because she
You had a
was.
special meeting.
No, not because of that. She was the acting town coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And we felt, rather than go out and look for anybody else, post it about look for anybody else. After working with her for, I don't know when you came on, Lou,
September.
after working over these last 2 months, we felt that we had the right person. So we
So
didn't
in
feel.
4 months, you
Right.
did, okay.
Yeah,
And it didn't have to be posted by the bylaws internally,
no,
and that's okay.
we can, but
okay.
that's a
I'll find
position,
a way to look for
that's a
it.
position that is appointed by the select board.
Okay,
That person she works directly for us.
mm-hmm.
And we can appoint or hire or fire whoever we want to go in that office.
Okay, I did not know that, that's why I'm here.
And the job title was gonna change regardless
Mm-hmm,
of who
okay,
ended up having it.
okay,
We did a study on the position after Lou left
Mhm.
to see how we wanted to proceed with that position.
correct, yeah.
That's just kind of morphed into the title of town coordinator over time.
Mm-hmm.
I forget, you were here when the original person was hired, and I
Right.
didn't even know the title back then.
That was administrative assistant.
It was even well before that.
Fair enough, yeah, no, that's why I'm here, I just have questions that.
So we studied
I was
those, we
concerned about.
studied, that's why their positions changed
Mhm.
when we had those folks choose to resign
Yeah.
originally. We did the study on those positions, as we're gonna do with every position in the town.
Correct, so
It's not-
now, I'm sorry.
Yep, but,
Continue.
so moving forward, we'll
Mhm.
have more formal job descriptions for everybody.
Correct, yeah.
We're
I
very
knew that
poor
was
on
there.
that now in the town. It's just
Mhm.
one of those things we have to get
So
better
as
at.
you already voted on for her salary to stay the same, so
Mhm.
the taxpayers are not, when we reorganize or regroup with our job titles, now it's a new title with extra responsibilities. Is that why we're trying to get it in now, so that the money will change, or
No,
is
it's
that
just-
not gonna,
there
is
is
that
no-
one already been
It's exactly the
reestablished?
same money as the town coordinator was.
Yeah, so the description has already been established
Yes,
versus the rest of us, okay.
correct.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know
Yeah.
as a.
And people shouldn't feel threatened in the town when we're looking at different
Oh, I
positions.
don't feel threatened, I just was,
It
I
could,
had questions.
it
that's
could
all.
come out with some folks that we don't even know half of what a lot of people do in town. Some people's pay might go up because they're
Right,
doing
no.
more things than we realize.
Mhm.
That's one of the reasons Karen's meeting with everybody. She met with Chris
Mhm.
over her job, and we created a new job description based on some of it's state law for the town clerk.
Right,
Most of it's state law.
So, plus she does other things, and
Mm-hmm.
we had to decide, is she the right person to do the dog licenses? Maybe she is, maybe it's not the right spot to be.
right,
So we're trying to look at things like that while we're doing all these reviews of jobs.
right. I was just curious if that's why we were trying to push the change of title, to kind of sneak in,
No, there
different
was,
dollar amount.
there was no thought process about that as far as
Okay.
pushing things through. It was just that we had a person that was working, doing a job and doing a great job on it to this point, and we had what we needed.
So the highway department, fire station, and police station are not going to be affected essentially by this decision?
No, they would still come to Karen, who they previously came to Lou,
Right,
for their same issues they've always had.
okay, thank you, I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, going on to old business. Dredging of the Cushman Park. Now, we need to look at that again, and I guess Brian's asking to have a notice of intent redone, and you've reached out for a Ward Smith and Wendell to see if he would help us with that. Is that correct, Karen?
Yes.
And he says he can do the project for $1,000 plus expenses. Likely certified mail and advertising around $400. The abutters will have to be notified again and stuff like that to get the permit to do that. And of course, he cannot get out there until weather gets a little bit better to look at if there's any changes. He feels if there isn't a lot of changes, that this might go through fairly easy. So what's your pleasure, gentlemen?
I'd like to make a motion to approve permitted dredging at Cushman Park and to hire Wendell Wetland Services to do the site plan and application filing on the town's behalf with the Conservation Commission and the Mass DEP.
I'll second that. If I can add just a little context through a
Yep.
conversation with Brian Miner. There was a potential grant available that Chris pointed out to myself. I talked to Brian about it. This will set him up to apply for that grant.
Okay.
He could get some money to pay for this. when I was speaking with him yesterday, I didn't even think about what we talked about with Brian and the previous conservation person, Cassie, that we had about doing the extra work along that behind like the Vets Memorial to clean it up. Remember we felt we had to go and get extra permitting for that upper stretch of the brook?
Yeah, and
I just want to make sure we're going to get that incorporated within it so we can do that cleanup along the stream bed from Route 5
Down to the
to where,
culvert.
I
Brian
don't know
would
if,
dig out.
I don't know if Ward is,
is he the one for that or not?
I don't know if he knows that we want him to go that direction with it.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I want to make sure we do get that, even if it costs us a couple more bucks.
Now, and again, he's going to do all this, but if the DEP doesn't accept,
Correct.
we're taking a little bit of a risk.
Yep.
Cassie,
And this is the report that was done by them last time, so
2012.
nothing really has changed, just the site plan review. But I'm not, does anybody know how much this cost when they did that?
Do not.
That was previous to me, I don't know.
Cassie, the former assistant to the Conservation Committee, indicated that with her expertise that she felt that the DEP would accept our plan as we described it to her from Route 5 to the
Yep.
culvert or whatever that.
So this is our old permit expired, for anybody wondering why we're
Right.
going through the process again. So we have to get another permit for a
Yeah,
period
but I
of
thought
years.
that, how long was that permit for? Because we had it for quite a while.
Close to
I'm
10
sorry, I
years,
think
would say.
5 years it was good for, Brian had
Yeah, I think it
mentioned.
was
but-
renewed once.
Because it's set up that way so we don't have to apply every year.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So you got a motion on the floor to,
Yep.
Yep, and seconded. I seconded it.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next on the agenda is a town coordinator's report.
All right, so if you go to tab 1 in your packets there, gentlemen, 32 Fox Hill Solar Project, I had communications with Lou and Bill Hill regarding the environmental compliance services, that change
Yeah.
request that I was not too sure about. The change order request for 32 Fox Hill Road. And SWCA Environmental Consultants, they provide the Bernardston Conservation Commission with the third-party inspection and monitoring at the solar installation project. The Conservation Commission Chair, Bill Hill, is the one that signs the change request form. And then what the town does is invoices Nexamp for the new amount of $46,000, so that the funds to pay SWCA will be available in that established 53G account. So I sent Andrew at Nexamp about inquiring about the funds for the next change request. So that's the process of how we handle the payment and the invoicing at Fox Hill.
Okay.
All right, and the COA van account, you had already mentioned that, you stole my thunder. I contacted Markham on the 28th of December, and it appears that the account's been leveled, so we're good to go. There was, if you look at your expense control report and your tab number 2, looks like Elizabeth added a budget line titled COA van transmittal to the general fund year end, so I believe we're all set.
It's a big number.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
And then, if you refer to tab 3, I sent an email to Rachel Klein, the director of...
Excuse me a minute.
Oh, sorry.
That amount was, so people,
$123,178.15.
okay, it goes back into our funds.
General fund, right.
Okay,
And then the tab number 3, I received a little bit of an update on Fire Chief Peter Shedd, the H4064. Rachel Klein was the Director of Constituent Services, but anyways, I got a response back from another gentleman, Brian Rossman, the Legislative Director for Senator Joe Comerford's office, stating that the bill received its preliminary approval at the House. So it's at least halfway there, and it'll go to the Senate. So there's been a little bit of movement, but still it's in a holding pattern until it gets to the Senate floor. So. The other thing I wanted to inquire about was, I think it's time to replace the flag in front of Town Hall, and I wasn't too sure how we go about doing that.
I think we have a flag replacement fund. Yep.
Right.
It gets voted every year at annual meeting.
Okay.
And we can look in the, you sure there's not one in?
No, I think that can get, I think there is one upstairs. I'm talking about physically grabbing one from upstairs and switching it out. And
Well, just
if
same
that is-
size.
Not voting and paying for it, but rather,
No, because I think we can, I think there's some, they're not new up there, but we can definitely find a better one than what's out there. So that's okay to go ahead and switch the flag out?
Yep.
All right.
absolutely.
And then the W-2s were mailed out on January 8th, and that's all I have.
Okay, how, other businesses, we have the Sandry invoices. I don't know how these invoices got, they weren't paid, but there's a partial balance of $68.53 on one. There's a partial balance of $80.54 on another one, and there's $439.24 on another one of them. And I guess it was for, it had to be for diesel fuel.
Yes?
Yeah, I don't know how how we didn't get these taken care of, but we need to get these paid. And these are all for, this was May of '23. I'll get a date on this one somewhere, I know it is.
December 7th of '23.
Yeah,
No, that's the date of the.
June
two of them
7th.
are
June,
December 7th
yeah,
of '23.
transaction dates.
So they're all in this year, so I think we just can authorize to have them paid.
They're all in this year. but
No, they're all last
previous-
year,
previous
previous.
Oh,
July
previous
1st.
years, okay.
Yeah,
we'll
that's
have
why
to
we
go
need your
through.
approval to pay
I
them.
think they're gonna have to go to town meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
we need to-
Yeah, we can't approve that.
Oh, okay,
We'll have to get a hold of Jane, because
Okay.
that'll have to be on the town meeting floor.
That needs to have to go to finance committee, we'll put a report together and then beg Sandry
Send
for
this info over to
forgiveness and
Jane.
okay, you got it.
if they'll go for that.
And we've confirmed with the changeover of accounting systems that we did pay these.
Yes, Markham worked hard with
Okay.
Sandry on this to see if there was, you know,
Okay,
Sandry approached us and then Kristen got hot on it with them.
okay.
Okay. Okay, we're all set with that? Moving on, Cushman Library update. If people don't know, the library has been closed, and the town has an order here from the Board of Health. We do not have the one here from the fire department yet, but that one will be forthcoming. I will read to the town what the Board of Health one is. It says, in response to yesterday's inspection, in accordance with regulations, the attached order is issued to the owner of the Cushman Library, the town of Bernardston. Please forward the attached to all Select Board members. Attached, you will find a letter from the previous health agent voicing similar concerns in 2009. On January 9th, 2024, Jessamy Ward, Regional Health Inspector, and Randy Crocier, Program Manager, Regional Health Agent for the Cooperative Public Health Service at the Franklin Regional Council of Government, as agents to the Bernardston Board of Health, investigated a complaint of a public health nuisance at the Bernardston Town Library. This investigation was in response to a complaint received from a resident of the town. Our records indicate that there have been previous similar complaints that have been filed with the Bernardston Board of Health. Observed at the time of this inspection was violations with the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 111, Section 122, 123, 124, and 125 per Mass General Law, Chapter 111, Section 112. Boards of Health are required to examine into all nuisances, sources of filth, and cause of sickness within the city or town. Whenever a board is aware of a nuisance or causes of sickness that may be injurious to public health, the board is required to remove it or destroy the nuisance or cause of sickness or prevent the nuisance or cause of sickness. Inspection observations. Impeded access, dangerous storage conditions, and clutter that promotes the harborage of rodents and vermin was observed throughout. An odor was observed throughout. Clutter was observed throughout in public areas and non-public areas. A staircase that leads to an employee-only area in the basement, not roped off or marked, was observed being used as a storage area. A door at the bottom of the stairs was observed being propped in an open position with several fold-out tables pushed against the door. Basement storage area was observed cluttered with access items. 3 rows of shelving observed with spillover storage. This area also contains the town's vault, which additional persons must have access to on an as-needed basis. The conditions of the space does not allow for clear access to the vault door. Evidence of rodents was observed in the basement. Paint cans were observed under the main book checkout area. Liquid was observed pooling around the cans. You are hereby ordered to correct these violations. The library is to remain closed to the public until these conditions have been remediated as discussed. A reinspection to review compliance will occur on Thursday, January 11th at 5 p.m. And then we have also, they sent the letter that was sent by Glenn Ayers back in 2009 with similar complaints, the same thing. So for now, the library will be closed. I know the trustees down there are working to try to correct the problems. I don't know how the select board feel about this, but I'll give you a chance to speak if you want.
That's in trustees' hands right now.
Okay, so we'll keep people informed and hopefully we'll get this, this resolved. Moving on from that. A joint select board meeting with the zoning board of appeals and the planning board is scheduled for tomorrow, January 11th at 6 p.m. at Town Hall. The purpose of this meeting is to assess the current state of the zoning board of appeals in relationship between the zoning board of appeals and the planning board. It is also important to discuss how the impairment of the zoning board of appeals over the last couple of years has contributed to unfortunate situations for citizens who have been trying for over 6 months to apply for special permits. I have been told that there has been no reports sent to the Board of Appeals from the building inspector to look into. And that's the process that has to go through. If a person has a question, they go to the building inspector. The building inspector contacts the Board of Appeals and then the zoning Board of Appeals, and then they get involved. Now at this meeting tomorrow night that we're all going to be at, there is a concern that a resident might show up and want to discuss with us the process that they need to go through. And I need to know from the other select board members if we feel at this time we're prepared to do that, or if this is just a meeting where we're going to be sitting down trying to reorganize and to figure out where we're going from here. This resident does need an answer and can't be put off. This is something we have to work on, and I'm sure the planning board is well aware of the situation, and I'm sure they're working on their area and getting what they got to do moving. Well, how do you guys feel about it?
As I understand it, the select board is ultimately responsible for this process. So in the absence of a operating zoning board of appeals, the burden falls to us. So
Okay.
that person could come to any meeting of the select board and ask us to act on their request.
Okay, let me clarify that just a little bit. No, we've had a zoning board of appeals. We still have a zoning board of appeals. And like I said before, the process is they go through Jim Hawkins, and then they go to him. And nothing's been brought to them for them to act on. So there hasn't been an absence of that part. And tomorrow night's meeting, I don't know if we're going to be able to.
They'd still have to go to Jim Hawkins first.
Correct.
Right.
If they've done that and Jim says that they haven't, then the person doesn't have standing with us until he or she has followed the process.
Okay.
I think the confusion lies in the application process, because the application is for either the ZBA, it's an application to the ZBA and an application to the planning board. So the applications tend to go to those two boards and not to Jim Hawkins.
Right. That's the one, this resident's check sat in the zoning board of appeals box for over a year with the application for a special permit. So if that, are you saying then, Stan, that should not have happened? The check should, that application process goes to Jim and not the zoning board of appeals?
Applications are checked into the town clerk, and then the town clerk passes them to those particular
And then
boards.
the zoning board of appeals gets it from the building inspector.
Okay.
That's the way it was explained to me by the chair
Yes.
of the zoning board of appeal. So it's up to you guys. I mean, anybody can come. I mean, it's going to be an open meeting tomorrow night.
Yeah,
So
we'll talk about it there.
anybody can come and to that meeting and discuss it, I guess, and we'll just leave it like that.
Right.
Okay, is that all right with you guys?
Can we also, then as a suggestion with the mailboxes over there, that someone be assigned to go through them periodically and hit it with a date stamp so that we know?
I do, I go through it, that's how, right, I'm keeping my eyes on the
Okay,
mailbox.
so
And I'm sure
just so
Chris
that we don't
does.
have an.
And
When
I'm
I have taken in applications for the zoning board of appeals as the town clerk, I always call Dan DeMont, the
Yep.
chair, and let him know there's an application in your box. I think part of the problem is their clerk, they have no clerk.
Right,
She left almost 2 years ago, but finally sent me a resignation notice back last April or May.
okay.
So she would have been coming in and getting those applications, I'm sure, but
We
With
can't
no
script it
clerk.
any better. We still need to make sure we have a solution to the people.
yes.
It's just, it's good now, we're good
Okay.
with that, it's just, right.
Yeah, because you check the outside box, right?
Yes,
And I'm
Daily.
sure the treasurer, the tax collector checks it.
she doesn't have a key. I have a,
She should
wants
have
me-
a key because they're gonna be dropping
I
stuff.
thought so too, but,
Can you get her a key?
yeah, we have an extra key,
Okay.
or you have an extra key.
I
I
have
know
the
we
key,
have-
I have the key for the key box, like to have the,
We
we
have
need
three
to have one.
keys.
Oh, you do?
We have 3 keys
All right,
total, so anyways,
And
yeah.
I mean, the only ones, those keys should not go outside of this building.
right.
Correct.
I mean, tax collector needs one,
Yep.
you need one, the treasurer needs one, and town administrator needs one. I don't know, you
No,
know,
I don't think the
No,
treasurer.
I just need one for the box, so I have the key in case, you
In case
know,
they all
for the
get
inventory, right. That's the only reason I would need it,
Yeah,
right.
okay, because we gotta keep that kind of, some sort of security because of the bolting and all that good stuff. We can't let everybody in, into that box.
It's a close hold key, yeah.
Okay, do you guys have anything else for the select board?
I do not.
Okay,
There's plenty.
Jane has asked that we, if we're going to continue with the process of having meetings with the finance committee. I told her that there would probably always be at least 2 people from the select board at those meetings. They're in a process of setting the dates. The first date will be January 22nd. We don't know who will be up on that date, but she will get us out the information.
Yes, to improve the process, can we ensure that we get all the information ahead of time so we can review it? We don't walk into the meeting
Okay,
and get handed the packet?
okay. The information that you're gonna get ahead of time is a budget.
Right.
That's it. We've got a budget. We've got it.
You should have that.
There have been revision A, B, C, and D, I think they're on D at this point, with the budget. Jane sent us an email to that effect. So
Yeah.
as they work through this and get further input from the department heads to clarify their budgets with the finance committee, we, the select board, don't necessarily get those copies.
I don't follow because I get copies. We've always got copies of All she brings is, other than the budget, is just a worksheet. We discussed the capital improvements and stuff. We discuss at that table, and a lot of that comes from us because of what we've done as far as going out and evaluating the buildings. So I don't follow. I mean, I agree that we should have the information, but I don't know what information you're talking about.
Whatever information that Jane stands at the copy machine 10 minutes before, at the beginning of the meeting, making us our copies and handing them out to us. I'd like that ahead of time, so we can intelligently go through it, make our comments on it, ask our questions on that document, and then that will expedite the meetings so we don't spend 2-3 hours trying to chase paper.
Well, I agree the minutes should come out first because it's kind of tiresome and kind of foolish to spend the first 15-20 minutes going through the minutes.
Whatever it is, the document.
That should be an easy process and it should be over and done. It's got to be streamlined a little bit.
This day and age with
Well,
email.
you can send that request out to Jane. I'm sure she's listening. If she's not, but you can send that out there.
Yeah, I sent her an email already about
Okay.
asking her for that. And she pretty much responded the same way you did, though,
But
that
if
we already
she-
have what, you know.
Yeah, we need to cut down. And other people got to understand too. We've got to cut down on the amount of paper that we're using out of the copy machine. We got a contract for 25,000 sheets, and we're over over.
Yeah, well, where we were at 52,000 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So we're using a lot of paper, and we need to cut down on the amount of paper that we're using. I mean, that's a lot. So if we can get by with using the same sheet 2 days in a row and just writing in the stuff, that might be a better way of doing things. But somehow we gotta do it. But we'll send that concern out to Jane and see if that goes. So they'll get together. Karen has sent out all of the information that we have so far to Jane.
Yes.
And we did put the budget for the recreation in her box. So if she didn't get that, it was in her box, but there was concern that she didn't get that. But
I sent it to her today.
and the other thing is, she's mentioned that the administrator person in Leiden had asked her if they want to get together and have a meeting with all the select boards and finance committees on talking about the school budget again. And I think that's a good idea, and we could even ask Karen if Jane would want to work with Karen through this to contact the select boards in the other towns and put out some dates, and we could maybe have it at the senior center again.
Okay.
Or we could set it up in here.
Leiden, Northfield, Bernardston.
Right. Right.
And who else would we invite other than the select boards?
The
Finance.
committees.
It's a large crowd.
Huh?
That's a large crowd.
That's a large crowd, but it's needed.
Oh, I don't doubt that it's needed.
So you said it's select boards, finance committees,
That's it.
who else?
That's it.
No.
Now, I don't know if Jane said, I don't know if she started, and I don't want to step on Jane's toes and.
Hey, I'll talk to her about it, see where
right,
she's
but
at, what she needs me to do.
If she wants us to start coordinate that, because it's either here or the senior center, so we'd have to pick dates that would be okay for the senior center and that type of thing.
I'll get with Jane before I do anything, for sure.
And the last thing I will mention is to go back to the comments we had on Karen Kelly. Just so people are clear, the first part of the hiring process for Karen was, it was a job that was sent out for people to come in and apply for the job. And she went through that process, and that's how Karen got in here, and being an assistant, that's how she moved up. So I don't think there's anything funky or anything with that. With that being said, anything else?
I'm good.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
What's the time up there? Anybody see it?